Hello everybody, Fox here. So over the past few months, I've made several videos where I'm critical of renewable energy, or more like I'm critical of the hype and the bullshit that surrounds renewable energy. And because of this, I have been labeled as a shill for fossil fuel companies. I find this hilarious because I work for a renewable energy company, but whatever. So in the spirit of fairness, today I decided to refute, or at least lend better perspectives to some of the bullshit claims made about wind turbines. Wow, less than 1 second in. I don't know where they got this sound effect of the big dramatic swoosh, swoosh for a wind turbine, but that is not what they sound like. Here, let me show you from my own recording below a wind turbine what they sound like up close.
Northwest of us, that way. Quebec City's actually more straight north of us.
Not quite what they're portraying, is it? If you listen closely, you can hear kind of the whine of industrial equipment. Of course, there's a big gearbox up there and a big generator, and those all do make noise. But the fact that it is 300 feet up in the air kind of cuts down on that sound. You can also tell from the video that people can have just quite normal conversations sitting right below them, and you can hear people talking in the background. And the wind against the camera actually drowns out the sound of the turbine all by itself. I love this ominous music. You'd think these things were the culprit in some sort of a slasher film. Obviously, I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to say, oh, sound can or cannot hurt you. I find it interesting that they label both infrasound and low-frequency noise. That's both the same thing. Infrasound is a low-frequency sound. There are people who claim that they are affected by wind turbines, and it's called wind turbine sickness. However, the number of people who claim this is insignificant compared to the number of people who actually live near turbines. And it's oddly coincidental that the people who claim that they are affected by wind turbine syndrome are often the same people who didn't want the turbines to be there in the first place. Yep. Turbines do kill birds and bats, but there are actions that can be and are taken to minimize the risk to wildlife. At one project that I know of, there are amateur bird watchers that volunteer, do this on their own time, that watch for large birds near the turbines. And if they see one flying near a turbine, they will call up the company and say, hey, there's a bird near turbine number 28, and they'll shut down the turbine until the bird leaves. Which means it's a perfect situation where the people who care the most are actually doing something about it. Now, when it comes to bats, I'm going to have to call bullshit on the exploding lungs thing. Turbines can kill bats, which is why during certain times of the day, during certain times of the year, most wind turbines have what's called bat curtailment, where the turbines are automatically shut down during the times of day, during the times of the year, when bats are active. Now, the reason I call bullshit on the bat lung exploding theory is that bat curtailment only goes into effect during times of low winds. When the winds are higher and the blades are spinning faster, the pressure wave in front of the blade will actually blow the bats out of the way so they won't get hurt. It's only during times of low winds when the blades are spinning slowly that the bats can't tell that they're there and get struck by the blades. I don't know what the fuck they mean by energy poverty, and really I don't give a shit. Now, when it comes to what they call rocks and fits, I had to look this up because that is a British term for what in the United States is called RECs, or Renewable Energy Credits. And renewable energy credits are bullshit. In fact, I intend to do a video on that sometime in the future. But just so you're aware, a renewable energy credit is basically a certification that the energy that you produced is green, and it all just feeds into the grid regardless of where it's generated. Companies and utilities who claimed that they are using green power have to prove that some way. So they will buy a renewable energy credit from a company that owns renewable generation. So the utility will first pay for the power, which goes at market price, and then they'll pay for the renewable energy credit on top of that. It's basically a hidden cost of green power, which I think is ridiculous and utter bullshit. So I will go into depth on that some other time. Now, when it comes to the claim that they only produce 20% of their capacity, that's somewhat of a misleading statement. Really, what it should say is that they only produce energy about 20% of the time. I'm not really sure if that figure is correct or not, but it is a major issue when it comes to renewable energy, which I believe I've already spoken on at length. So if you want to know more about my perspective on extreme limitations of renewable energy, watch my other energy-related videos. Oh, man. The number of wind companies, both generation owners and turbine manufacturers, that have gone out of business or gone bankrupt is staggering. Since nearly all wind turbines are built in rural areas or farmland or out in the high deserts, which are all practically deserted, you would think that those poor farmers actually getting some money would be a good thing. Oh well, fuck them. I'm not sure what the correlation is between wind turbines and poor people getting poorer, so we'll just move on. Do you know how rare it is for a turbine blade to come apart and get flung? Yeah, if it does come apart while the turbine is spinning, it can go a great distance. But that is so fucking rare. It's like saying we shouldn't have natural gas pipelines because sometimes they can explode. Yeah, they can, but that's a once in a blue moon thing. And about turbines going up in flames, they act like that's like the natural life cycle of a wind turbine, is that eventually it just catches fire and burns to the ground. And yeah, they can catch fire. That's machinery. And sometimes things go wrong. But the difference is that while machinery on the ground, you can call the fire department and come put it out. When machinery that's 300 feet up in the air on a big steel pipe catches fire, you just gotta let it burn out. There's nothing that can be done about it. Again, they act like wind turbines just topple over all the time. Yeah, some wind turbines have collapsed, but it's a freak accident. These are rare occurrences. Now, on throwing sheets of ice, yeah, they can do that, which is why wind turbines should be monitored at all times during the winter when there are icing conditions, and get shut down if they are spinning too fast with too much ice buildup. I don't know what the Vestas manual says. I haven't read a Vestas manual, so I don't know if it says that there should be a 400 meter exclusion zone or not. It's likely there is a recommendation of some sort of an exclusion zone, not just for safety, but also because at 400 meters away, you're not going to be hearing the turbines very well. So if that's the limit of your property line for the generator owner, then they're probably not going to be getting any complaints about sound. With this one, I wholeheartedly agree. If we want more renewable energy, then we need to find something that is far more reliable than wind and solar alone. Okay, so the rest of this video, they show all these turbine disasters and play some sad music in the background trying to tug at your heartstrings. But since I don't have a heart, it doesn't affect me. So that one's in overspeed and on fire. That's a double whammy. Nothing went right there. If you notice all these other ones that are on fire, none of them are turning. That means that the EFC, or the emergency feather control, went into effect to stop the turbine. The emergency systems worked. Bing! Really make that thing fly. That one was quite a disaster. Yeah.
No tomorrow.
Notice again this one that had the catastrophic blade failure. It stopped and the blade's still attached. That's just the aftermath of that one that blew up 2 scenes ago. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that one, but it's actually a smaller turbine. Yeah, I don't think the cows give a shit. That would suck. I would not want to own that house. But we don't know if those homeowners also own the land that the turbine sits on. They may have said, yeah, we'll take the big check in exchange for having a turbine next to our house.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. And I feel the way that
It's a little creepy how long they focused on that girl. Just saying.
sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous.
That, I believe, is the wind turbine farm out near Palm Springs, California. It is massive, and it's got all different types of turbines.
Tell me what's my
This is South Point, Hawaii. These dilapidated turbines, I think, sat there for 5 or 10 years. They have been torn down now by the turbine owner and replaced with 14 much larger turbines.
kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had.
Ouch.
Find it hard to
I have a feeling that they added in that sound effect, that crunch.
people run in circles. It's a very, very mad world.
I'm guessing that you could take that bird into the vet. It looks like he broke his wing and he probably could be rehabilitated. I don't know. Just saying. Is this the future we want our children to inherit?